About now, is it now a full screen?
Yes, it is.
All right. Yeah. Hi everyone. Good morning. My name is Babatunde Ibrahim. I'm a C# backend developer, and I welcome you to today's KD session. And for today, our topic will revolve around building secure web application, and the main topic is vulnerabilities and the best practice. This topic was, and always will be contemporary issue. Please, if you can hear me, confirm. Hello.
I can hear you.
All right, thanks. So this topic is a very comprehensive topic, but because of time, I will have to mitigate it and make it a little bit content. So here we only have 4 contents outlined. The first one will be based on overview of web application security. And the second one will be importance of building secure web application. While the third one, common web application vulnerabilities. And the last but not the least is the best secure coding practices. So here we have the overview of web application. What is web application security? You all agree with me that hello, I think someone, am I still audible, please?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. You will all agree with me that building a secure web application, in fact, security should be the first priority and concern of each and every developer when building a web application or even when building any application. And this vulnerability it doesn't only pertain to a dynamic application. In fact, a static web application is vulnerable. So web application is the protection of web application from cyber threats and vulnerabilities that could compromise the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of sensitive data. In short, this is all about how you can protect your web from any cyber threat or any cyber attack that could compromise the user data sensitive. In fact, this disruption can interrupt your business continuity and it could damage the business reputation. So it's all about building a secure web application and how you can protect yourself, your user, and your data from being exposed and from being exploited. That's all what web security is all about. So the next slide here is importance of building secure web application. As I mentioned earlier, the first that you can see on the list is protect sensitive data. What are these sensitive data? It's all just about private data, such as credential card numbers, your password, anything that pertains to your privacy is all about sensitive data. So it is important to build a web application that is secure so that you can protect user sensitive data, in fact, the company's sensitive data. So the second one is prevent financial losses and reputation damage. So the aim of the attacker exploiting the vulnerability in your application is the aim is to steal your credential card numbers in order to perform operation on your card by withdrawing the money in it or any transaction that can, how can I put it? Any transaction that can deduct anything from your account. So when you build a secure web application, you can prevent this from financial losses or reputational damage. If a website is down, that means its reputation is also damaged. So in order to avoid that, one needs to build a secure web application. And number 3, maintain customer trust and confidentiality. This is all about building a trust. When you build a trust in customer, but the moment your application is vulnerable and the attacker is able to exploit those vulnerabilities, when your app is done, there is no how the user we have confidence in you and we trust you. Your data, your application is done today. And the next 10 days, the attacker has already performed another operation on it and it's done. So the customer won't be, they will lose trust in your company, and your reputation is damaging bit by bit. And the fourth one here is ensure business continuity. So this is self-descriptive. To ensure business continuity, one must adopt building a secure web application. And number 5 here is protect brand reputation. As it is mentioned earlier, a secure web application also protects brand reputation. Am I still audible, please?
Yes.
Hello. All right, thanks. So here we have common web application vulnerability. Although this is just the tip of iceberg, there are a number of vulnerabilities in web application. In fact, it is extensive that only, I don't even know the numbers of vulnerability because there are so many, and even today one could surface that has never been before. So the first one is command injection. The second one is SQL injection, and this is one of the most popular vulnerability in the web application. And the third one is XSS. We also call it CSS. So cross-site scripting, as you can see here. And the fourth one is CSRF, or you call it XSRF, cross-site request forgery. The fifth is credential stuffing. And the sixth, which is the last one here, is DOS or DDoS. So we are going to take each and every one and have a brief discussion on them. The first one I'm having here is command injection. What is command injection? The security risk occur when untrusted data is sent to an interpreter via a command. So how could this command injection occur? This can occur when a user input is needed in order to perform certain operation in the application, sorry. When a system command is needed, you can see an example of the command here. Say for example, I built a web application in the past where these applications need certain command to create certain user on the server, to create certain accounts on the server. So this requires a user to input some query, although this is not for everyone, it's just for those in the specialized field. So this requires user to input this command. And if user unfortunately inputs sudo rm, rf, and slash, and this here is to remove the entire operating system of the computer. You can see we have sudo privilege here, and those who are in the field of infrastructure and cloud, they will know what I'm talking about. And those who use Linux distribution, they know what I'm talking about by sudo privilege. So this sudo privilege, it gives the user potential privilege to do anything they want on the computer. So this can remove the entire operating system. You can see this is pointing to the root. You can see slash here. It is pointing to the root, which means that this command remove everything. In fact, it removed the entire operating system. So in Windows, it may not be like that, but if the server is a Linux-oriented server, so this could damage and remove everything on the computer, and the computer will just be a vessel. So the second one is SQL injection, and this is the most popular, is one of the most popular vulnerability in the web application. In fact, not only in the web application, it is also popular in mobile application as well. So SQL injection is a web security vulnerability that allows attackers to manipulate SQL query executed by an application. So what this means is that in a web application, when a developer builds a web application in which it used ad hoc query or a concatenated query to store a user data, instead of using a parameterized query, which it has a placeholder for each data I wanted to input to store in the database, and it used ad hoc query, or we call it concatenated query or dynamic query. So we just have a SQL statement, then plus what you want to enter, what you want to store in the database, or what you want to get from the database. And if we use this approach, definitely this is application, is database is having a high tendency to be exploited, because this is a vulnerability. This is a vulnerable. It is vulnerable. And how can you do that? You can see here that user can just say, for example, it is an application that require a user to register or to log in by username and then password. If the potential user or the potential offender just type out or, which is OR, 1 equals to 1. This is a true statement. Is a true statement. 1 equals to 1 is a true statement. And when this is executed by the server, the database server, this will bring all the lists in all the data in the database is to be exposed to the user. And in this case, user can steal the sensitive data I wanted, or it can even lock down the database server itself. And also, in some cases, if user run a truncate command from the database or in the database, this could delete the entire data in the database by just running the SQL command to truncate a table. So you all know what I'm talking about if you are a developer or those who work with the database. If you just run that command to test the SQL injection vulnerability, you can just run the truncate command to see if the application is well written or not. If it is well written, nothing will happen. But if it is poorly written, then the entire data in the database will be truncated. It will be deleted. Everything in there won't be anything again. So the third vulnerability here is cross-site scripting. So this allows attacker to inject client-side script, especially JavaScript, into web pages to intercept user session access, impersonate users, access sensitive data, tamper with websites, or redirect URL to malicious website. Also, this is also a popular vulnerability, is a popular attack on a vulnerable web application. It allows the user to write a script, a malicious script, which is most of the time a JavaScript script. And this is stored. There are three forms of XSS attack. The first one is stored, the second one is reflected, while the third one is DOM-based XSS. Store XSS, this script is stored in the database. And this script, it targets certain web page in the website. So when another user visits that website, this script is executed by the browser. Am I still audible, please?
Yeah.
All right, thanks. So this script is executed by the browser. And when this script is executed, the script performs its job on that web page. Maybe the intention of the offender is just to steal your data or to steal the sensitive data, your password and your credit card, to steal them. So when the script is executed, things will be exposed if the website is not built with a security in mind. So the reflected one is, you can just say that it is just like a button that is inserted in the website. When the user click on it, so it may redirect them to a malicious page where the user intended, and this will just know that all this script is executed by the browser when the user go to the targeted web page. So it's only when the user when the user navigate to the targeted page, that's when the scripts are executed by the browser. So, and the third one is DOM-based. This happens if the user is required to input a tag, HTML tag. You all know that, such as anchor tag, style tag, script tag. So all this is especially when the developer sets inner HTML, I think. Yes, inner HTML. So when the user's input is required to do some styling in the web application, so this may occur, such as, say, for example, you require a user to enter their name, but the potential user enters a script tag or a style tag. When the user enters the style tag and your web application is poorly written, it doesn't handle any validation or sanitization. So user can mess with your website, such as changing the color or make your application fade, the entire web page fade. So when you put the opacity at 0, all this can be a potential threat to your application. Or you can even run a loop statement. So if the user just only want to play, the potential user only want to play around your application, it can just run a loop of 1 million or more than 1 million statements, for I in range such and such, which is the number of how many times the loop will run. So this can slow your web application down, and this will irritate the user. So let's go to the next one, is cross-site request forgery, CRSF, or we call it XSRF. So this is one of the most interesting attack, or one of the most interesting vulnerability that can be exploited. So it is also known as session writing or one-click attack. CSRF is a web vulnerability that trick a browser and the user into performing unintended action on a trusted site that the user is authenticated to. So please, let me give you a little bit of explanation. Say, for example, you have your account on Bank A. So you have money you save in your account, you have everything there, and you are authenticated, which means that you have logged in and the session is still there. You haven't logged out. You are authenticated on that web application, on that site. So when the potential attacker or the offender, they may send you an email, or in fact, they may send you, this is done through some social engineering, where they may ask you a question or do something like that. So they may send you an email, or they may even send you a message on WhatsApp that Tinubu wants to give all his citizens 50,000. Click on this link and claim your prize. Or they may send you a message, an SMS message, that you win such and such. Click on this link to claim your prize. So if you click on that link, that is a bait. And if you click on it, this takes you to a website. And this website, you might even see nothing useful there. And you just think, oh, this is just a lie. And after that, you don't know what is happening. That website, it's used the session on the authenticated on your bank A website, which you are authenticated to. It used those session, those credentials, it's collected them, and it's used that credential to perform operation on your bank A account. It may write some code, some anchor tag code, that which you click on, the link that you click on that navigates you to a website that you don't find it useful and you just go back. So it may be a link that have href of the bank website and your credential that is collected, and then the amount of money to withdraw. So when you click on it, you don't find it useful, but that is collected, your credential is collected, and that credential is used to perform operation. That credential impersonates you, and it goes back to your bank A to withdraw some money. Some of the people, they are the victim of this attack. So they say they don't withdraw money, but their money has gone. That is what happened in some cases. So the next one is credential stuffing. Credential stuffing is a method where attacker leverage a roster of compromised user credential to illicitly access the vast online accounting service. This is similar. This is also one of the popular vulnerability in the website. In fact, this is what we call brute force attack. So the attacker used a list of compromised password to gain entry into a target web application. So all this password has been compromised. What I mean by compromised is that they granted the attacker access to some of the websites in the past, and that attacker tried to use those passwords again to gain entrance in the new website application. So the user tries a list of password, and if one password also works, if one password out of the list works, then the attacker gain entrance. And that attacker, it has a potential role to do anything on your web application, on your account. So this may diverge to online account fraud or service. So the next one is DOS and DDoS. With DOS and DOS, we usually heard of SaaS, software as a service, but it's only few people that heard as DDoS SaaS, which is DDoS as a service. DOS and DDoS, they are a similar thing with a slight bit of difference. So DOS is a cyber attack where the offender attempts to make a network resource unavailable by overwhelming it with traffic or request. So DDoS is where the attacker use bots or zombie. Those are the compromised. They are the compromised computer which the attacker has already gained access to. So he used those bots to send a huge number of requests to a certain server, to the targeted server. At the same time, maybe 200,000 requests at once to that targeted server. So the intention is just to make the server unavailable or the target network unavailable. So DDoS is the same thing, but at a much larger scale. So DDoS is a distributed denial of service. So the bot master or the attacker, he used thousands or millions of computer which is controlled by the bot master to make the service unavailable. So when a website is receiving millions of requests at once, this may make the service unavailable if the service is a small scale. And this distributed denial of service is popular and is also common, and it is very difficult to prevent. So this is the image of what Describe does. You can see this is the bot master, and these are the bots, and you can see that he is sending a packet or a request to each victim to each target victim. So how can you secure your website? So first you must firstly know all the common vulnerability, because without identifying the problem, there is no way that you will have solution to them. So first of all, you need to execute input validation and sanitization. You must validate the user input first and then sanitize it. Then the second one, you need to employ up-to-date encryption. So you need to enhance authentication and authorization. So the approach is that you use three things: something you know, something you have, and something you have. Something you know, like password; something you have, like the identity card, the passport, and other thing; and something you are, which is just like the thumbprint or the face identity. Then you track API usage, how the user is using your API, you track it. You employ a dynamic testing for application security and validation, and you use anti-CSRF token. And the seventh one is output encoding. You encode the output. And if, in fact, do not log something to the console, if it is a bit sensitive, it is advisable to not log to the console. Then the last one, you need to enforce rate limit on API sensitive endpoint. If you know that this API is sensitive, please ensure that you enforce rate limits on it. So for the recap, web application is the protection of your web application. Web security is the protection of your web application from any form of threat. And it is important to build secure web application, including the financial protection, competitive advantage, business continuity, and brand reputation. Common vulnerability in the web application includes command injection, SQL injection, CSS, CSRF, DOS and DDoS, credential stuffing. So I said the list is comprehensive. The best secure coding practice include input validation and sanitization, API easy tracking. You enforce a rate limit on your API, encoding the output, and so on and so forth. So question, am I still there, please? Hello? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
So here we have the question. Vulnerabilities that may be exploited when the user input is improperly validated and sanitized include A, DOS, B, XSS, C, CSRF. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yeah, we can hear you. Maybe you can just say something to answer.
Yeah, please, can you kindly answer the question, or I should call name?
Yes, you can possibly.
Hello.
Yeah, I heard you. I said you can call someone to answer.
Please, Sophia, can you kindly answer? It says the vulnerability that may be exploited by the inputs improperly validated and sanitized include? Oh, Sophia is not available. James, can you please answer that? Oh,
Which question are you saying? Number one.
yes, number one. When the user input is improperly validated.
I'm not sure.
Someone said
Oh, yeah, that's correct. B is cross-site scripting. You know, when the attacker injects a JavaScript script into your application. So the second one is one of the main purpose of exploiting a web application vulnerability is A, to steal sensitive data. B,
The answer should be A now. The answer is A, still sensitive data.
yeah, to steal sensitive data. That it is. Thank you so much. And thanks for listening. And is there any question? I don't think we have time for that again. Oh, is there any question, please?
the time is up already. Thank you so much, Ibrahim. Thank you everyone for joining. Please have a productive day.
Thanks you so much.